Okay, we're gonna do a get ready with me, and talking about also how we get through a difficult time in our lives. So at the moment, I am starting with the L'Oreal Revitalift Villa. This is the 1.5% hyaluronic acid, and I do also put the special eye one under my eyes just before. So I'm just gonna put a little bit, pointing out, about 2 drops all over my face. And this is the makeup for, I guess you could call it mature skin in your bodies. And I did base this on, this is based on Shelby Anne's makeup routine, her viral one. So I'll tag her in this one as well. So I'll put that on first, and then I'm going to go through with the L'Oreal Revitalift Glass Skin as well on top of that. 2 pumps of that. I'm just going to give that a little minute to dry. And when talking about, well, with that's drying, before I put on my makeup, that's already looking so much more moisturized than before. Yes. Talking about a difficult time in your life. So sometimes it's a breakup, divorce, losing a job. I've gone through all of those. And a few years ago, when I went through divorce, it was difficult in my time of life, and I thought it would be good to talk about what I think I found so helpful, that's helped me, and maybe might help you as well. I do have a little, I like to use this little reusable, or disposable rather, makeup ones to just give my hair in my eyebrows just a little comb, shaping it. And so when we're going through a difficult time in our lives, it can be a bit stressful, right? It can wake up with a lot of anxiety. I know that I found that a lot. And the anxiety, it's like this horrible feeling. You want to avoid it, but if you avoid it, it just makes you feel more anxious and more anxious. And what I've actually found helpful is to not avoid it, but instead actually face the anxiety and go, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to allow myself to be anxious for 2 minutes. Okay, be anxious. Take a deep breath, and then, okay, be anxious. And then I usually find that I get bored of that pretty quickly. My body goes, oh, now that I'm allowed to be anxious, I'm not quite sure what to do. Or sometimes you do feel something. You might feel like a tightness in your chest. Okay, you got a tightness in your chest. Maybe you can breathe through that, right? I have found the breathing in 2 seconds, holding for 4, and then exhaling for 4 method helpful. So if I go breathe in, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and repeating that a few times. Very helpful. Now with my eyebrows, I do like to use this one's called Eyeliner Beauty. Eyeliner Beauty, it's an Australian one. I don't know if you can quite see it. Ailana Beauty. It's like a little wax. I found that quite helpful. I'm gonna just put some of that on my eyebrows. I found that shapes them. But when we're going through anxiety, some of it is just a little voice in our head that's just going blah 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 blah, does not shut up. So it might be going, when I was going through my divorce, it was saying to me, oh, what are you gonna do now? You're not gonna find someone, like you can find someone, and you don't even have a job right now. Are you gonna be able to find a job? Are you gonna die? You're gonna die, and the little voice in your head just exaggerates, and it just tells you everything's horrible, you're gonna die. Sometimes you just gotta ignore that little voice in your head. It's just there to keep you safe, right? It's just trying to keep you safe. So I have to say thank you so much for trying to keep me safe. I really do appreciate it. However, I am not a little kid anymore. I'm not a little girl. I'm a woman in my 40s. I'm a grown up. I'm not going to die from anxiety. Calm the F down. Take a chill pill. Breathe. We're going to be okay. Because sometimes it forgets as well that we're actually an adult woman, right? So I find that quite helpful. Now the next step in my makeup is putting on a little bit of concealer under my eyes. So let me just grab that for a second. It's actually a color corrector. So I do also use the L'Oreal Paris color corrector based on all the concealer, but this is the color corrector based on Shelby Anne's makeup routine, as I said. Shelby Anne's awesome. So I'm just gonna put a little bit here. Now a little bit here around the nose. A tiny bit under the mouth. And actually put a little tiny bit here as well. Cover this up. Just I had picked at something on my nose and have a little spot there. And I get a little triangle to rub it in. Where is my little triangle? Oh, here we go. Like a little new one. And I just press it down. Press, press, press. Now, that little voice in your head, it can drive you nuts. And sometimes you try to reason with it, and you're like, oh, okay, yes, you are concerned that I'm not going to be okay on my own. You know, I'm in my 40s. It's going to start saying to you, well, you know, there are no good men out there, or there are no good jobs out there. Both, you don't have to reason with it. You can just tell it shut up, and you can just grab it and put it away. I like to just put it away in the drawer, in the box, in the drawer, away it goes. You don't have to actually listen to it. You don't have to listen to every single silly thing that your mind says, because it's going to say a lot of things. And if you're sitting there going, oh, you know, what if this, what if that, that you're just going to drive yourself crazy, right? Like, imagine you had a person next to you and that person just kept saying stuff all the time, talking about your life all day long. What are you doing? It's just going to drive you nuts, right? Like, nobody wants to just hear someone just blah, blah, blah all day long. Now, I'm just putting a little bit more concealer on my nose. It's gone a little bit red. Now, a lot of people, I do talk a little fast, so I should probably try to slow down a little bit, but then everybody tries to speed up videos anyway. I know I do. So maybe this is okay. Just going to put a little bit more concealer on my nose because it's just a little bit red. There we go. That's better. A little bit better. Now with Shelby Anne's routine, it is a little bit thick, the makeup, but it does look really good in photos especially. So I think it's fairly simple, but I think it's fairly natural looking. So we're going to go in with the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Foundation. Oops. So that's that one there. And the color that I have is the 2N because I'm quite light skinned. Now, if you're wondering where my accent's from, I'm from Australia. I live in Australia, but I was born in South America, in Colombia, so I have a bit of a blend of accents, but probably sounds more Australian to you than anything else. So I'll try to enunciate my words a little bit better, but I'll just go in. Now, Shelby Anne does go in and sort of paints it first, and sometimes I do that, but I don't have as much time today, so I figured I'm just going to go in with the beauty sponge and blend it in. And part of the reason also I try to do my makeup every day, because if you look good, you feel good. It's not just for other people. For myself, I found it really makes a difference to the way I feel. If I look good, then I feel good. Okay, a little bit more at the top. And Shelby Anne goes in with 4 pumps. Now, I'm just doing 2 pumps at the moment. I'll see how I go. Sometimes I'll put a little bit more. But unless I'm going to something like a wedding where I'm going to take a ton of pictures, I find 2 is okay. It's enough coverage for me. Now, another thing, when you are going through a difficult time, right? It's that, okay, you calm yourself down and then you get on with your day. But then the next morning you wake up again anxious. That's okay. It's not something that you deal with once and it's done. Sometimes it just takes a little while. It takes a little while, but you have to hold yourself through it. You have to be able to hold that tension. Now, if you are going through something difficult, for example, a divorce, I found that when I was going through that and when I actually made that decision to separate from my then husband at the time, um, there was a lot of objections, and there was people in my family going, "Oh, why are you going to do that? You know, it's marriage. You should stay together." But I decided that I wasn't going to stay unhappy for the rest of my life. A lot of people stay in unhappy marriages, and I know sometimes there's a lot to consider, kids and so on. We didn't have kids, so in that instance, that aspect of it was simpler than other people, for myself. But each person's different. But for me, yeah, I decided I wasn't going to. At the time, I was 40. I forgot now, 44, I think, and I decided I just wasn't going to spend the next 40 years unhappy, and there had to be something better out there. And even if there wasn't, I wanted to see what else there was in life. And although I was separated in 2020, yes, in the middle of COVID, and 2021 actually divorced, and now 2026, so 5 years now divorced. I have not found my forever husband just yet. It did take some time as well for me to just be on my own and sort of just explore what I wanted to do with myself, just get over the whole thing. Even though it was my decision, it did, as I said, cause me a lot of anxiety because, and that was a bit confusing as well. Like I felt anxiety, and then I was like, why am I feeling anxious when this was my decision? And I don't know if any of you can probably relate. And it's the reason because it's different, and when something feels different, your body says this is unsafe, unsafe, unsafe. You're gonna die. Go back, go back. That's safe. That's safe. Whether it doesn't matter whether you wanted to leave and that was your decision, and sometimes people even in really horrible marriages do that. They go back. Like why do people go back to like abusive spouses? Like that wasn't my case, but other people, because that in their body feels safe. Somehow that feels safe, even if they know it's not good for them and so on. The body feels safe. So it's important to recognize that and say thank you, buddy. I understand that that makes you feel safe. However, I've made my decision. I am safe on my own right here, right now. I found that helpful. So sometimes you just have to talk yourself through it, and you have to just be able to hold that tension. And as I was saying, with some family members that might question it and go, why are you doing that? Oh, I can already see my face is looking so much better than it did at the beginning of the video. So much better. It doesn't matter what your mother, friend, sister, brother, friends, people at work say. That's your decision to make, that if you wanted to go through the divorce, and you have to not let yourself be influenced by other people. I have found that more recently, the decisions, but even then I did talk it through with a psychologist, and I actually did go through an attempt marriage counseling with my spouse. However, now looking back, I realized that was a waste of time because I had already made up my mind. I made my decision, and you know what you want, and whether it's divorce or something else in life, and if you keep asking other people, oh, what should I do, should I leave him, should I stay, should I get it at this job, should I not get this job, should I buy this house, should I sell it, you're just going to drive yourself nuts. And everyone has an opinion, but they're just thinking about themselves and what's best for them. It's not necessarily what's going to be best for you. And who knows what's best for you? Well, only you really, right? So now I just don't consult anyone anymore. I only just think about, I might meditate, as in when I say meditate, just close my eyes, feel my heart, feel my connection up to God, the universe, however comfortable you are to calling something higher or your inner self. And I go with that, and I don't consult people anymore, because people will always just try to just putting a bit more concealer on, to do what they think is best for you. And sometimes they might fear for you, and some they might say, no, don't leave, because they're scared for you, or that doesn't sit well with them. But they're not you, they're not living your life. And you have to make your own decision. So it's important, and that's what I do now. I don't consult other people anymore externally. And people go, well, what if you, at the time in COVID, actually didn't have a job. I had some savings at the time, which was good. And well, we had with my husband at the time, and he was happy for me to, take my share, and he was very kind that way, and just take my time and get another apartment and just think things through. And so I was able to take my time. But during 2020, during COVID, there wasn't a lot of jobs and so on. There was a bit of scarcity mentality. But I didn't think, oh, this is not a good time to do it. What if I don't get a job? I just decided that that's what I wanted to do, and I went with it. And I try not to think about too far in the future. Just, what do I need to do today? And for the first few months, for me, it was a matter of purely just trying to figure out how to just live through that day, because sometimes I did have anxiety, and so I might go for a walk. I'm just putting a bit of loose powder under my eye, and I'll tell you which one that is as soon as I put it on, because it's on the lid. But this is also a L'Oreal one. I'm gonna find a little power puff. Here we go, little power puff. But I'm actually just take some in my finger first, because I know seems like quite a lot, but it just melts. I got this idea from Nina Paul. If you've never heard of Nina Paul, she's got really good makeup hack videos and dupes for different products. She says that it just helps the powder melt under your eye. And then I'm just going in with the power puff, put a little bit more on. Power puff. But she says, she says about this, that it just melts a little bit into your eyes. But my point was about not consulting other people. And if you tell someone, I'm going to do this, and they'll be like, oh, but you don't have a job, and you don't have this, and what are you going to do with yourself? They're also speaking out of their own fears, right? So when you ask other people, that's all you get, their fears. And they're also trying to do what's best for you. But I find it best to just decide, talk to myself. I talk to God, the universe, or source, whatever you would like to call it, and I just go with that. And but what if I'm wrong, right? Like, so I can just hear you saying, oh, well, what if you're wrong? Well, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I can pivot, and I can do something else, and I can do something different. But it's better than not doing anything and just freezing, right? That's what I think. Okay, so this powder is actually the L'Oreal Infallible Perfection powder, and this one I actually got in the US, because it's not available in Australia. So I did get it when I was over there. You can get it online from some places, I think maybe Amazon. But I do find it's like the best powder I've been able to get. Then the next thing I'm going to do is put on some blush. And I'm just going to go in with a little powder blush. So yeah, people are acting from a place of whatever they're scared about, whatever makes them scared. And that doesn't mean that it's necessarily the best decision for you. But also, you might make a mistake, but so what, right? Like you just do something, and that's the right decision. And if it doesn't work out, then so what? You just pivot, do something else. It's not the end of the world. No one's dying. We're not saving lives here, unless you actually work in a hospital. Now Shelby Anne does do so it lasts longer. She'll do like a creamy blush first, and then she'll do powder. But I'm just gonna go in with powder, just keeping it simple. So I just put it right at the top of my cheeks, my cheekbones. Otherwise, it drags your face down. And I do like quite a bit of blush. I just find that just brings a little bit of an element of glamour into your makeup. Now I do sometimes use bronzer, and that is part of Shelby Anne's makeup routine, but not always, and I'm not going to really bother with it today. I'm going to just keep it simple, and in Australia we're in the middle of winter, so it's okay to have a bit of a keep my makeup lighter. Like, I'm not going for that sun-kissed look. I can't see anything. I don't have my glasses on. Let me get the blush. So I'm gonna go in with some eyeshadow. So I'm using the Milani makeup palette. I did get this just here in Australia in Priceline, and this is like they have different ones. This is it is a little bit of a bronzy sort of color one. So I'm just going to go in with this little bit of this eyeshadow right here at the top, and it is quite light. I am just going to go with the what they call the sun method, where you're sort of just drawing like a little sun across the top of your eyebrow bone here, and then I'm going to close my eye and just bring it down just a tiny bit on the corner there. And same with the other side. Now I'm keeping my eyeshadow quite simple these days. My makeup simple, and you know, frankly, I do like makeup, but you know, just sometimes you just want to get out the door, right? And you have a lot of things that you want to do. Oh, that seems to be a little bit darker than the other side. Let me see. Look in the mirror. But doing it at the top here of the bone, it also, what it's meant to do is just lift your eyes, and then just what's left over, I do run it a little bit over the eyelid, just whatever's left over, and then just trying to keep it nice and high and bone. And I do have this this is a MAC one blend brush, just one that I happen to have, but doesn't have to be a MAC brush, of course. But just like a big fluffy brush that's for blending eyeshadow. I find it very handy. But yes, the main point is that when you are going through something difficult, trust yourself, because if you go around asking a million other people, you're just going to drive yourself nuts. So and then you'll go into decision paralysis. Oh, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? Should I do that? My friend said this. My mom said that. I just don't bother anymore. Just do what I want. Now, this is a very fine brush. So I'm just going to go in with the darker brown bronzy color here at the bottom. And I'm just going to draw like a little, I'm going to do it in the mirror. I'm just going to draw like a little, almost like a little eyeliner line down the top of my eye. Bring a little bit more. Let's see how that's looking now. I know that's not the best light in the world. And then I'm just using some of what's left over at the bottom. Now, I know that looks like I have a lot of creases and so on, but when I move the light a little bit, if I sit back, you can sort of see now that it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. And then what I do also is going with a big fluffy brush, and I go in with some powder right at the end. Oops. I have a couple of different ones. I do like the Lola's light perfecting powder, talc free and skin smoothing, and it's meant to smooth out your makeup a little bit. And because I'm gonna go dancing, this will help just it mattify a little bit, just and stay on all night. But I do go in with a I'll do it in the bathroom, but okay, what I do is right at the end I get the L'Oreal makeup setting spray, which is like a big red bottle. It looks like hairspray, and I spray my face with that. Okay, that's pretty good. Now we're almost done. What I'm probably just going to do is just add a little bit of, maybe after this I might just add a little bit of tiny either eyeshadow or pencil to my oh, actually what I will use is, I did get also, you can see I'm a big fan of L'Oreal, the four brow little eyebrow filler. So it's just got like 2 little lines. And normally I only use this like now when I'm going out at night, because I don't bother so much during the day putting on so much makeup. I would just probably leave it at this, but because I am going out at night, I'm just going to get my little tiny mirror, and so I can see a little bit better. I'll just notice I've got a couple of little hairs from the makeup brush. I'm just going to go in and very lightly, light strokes. This is not perfect, but I do find that it helps, especially with photos. Now I know it does look a little bit dark here, but once I finish it all, it looks pretty good. And I do sort of extend my eyebrow just a tiny bit at the end. And you know, if I stuff it up, I can always fix it with a little Q-tip. You know, it's a bit hard to see. I'm going to just use the normal mirror. Well, I'll use the phone. Okay, just looking a little tiny bit crazy at the front, but I can fix it up in a minute. And yeah, I might just go in with a Q-tip or something in the middle. But that's pretty good. And then I'm just gonna go in with let's see, maybe a little bit more here. Perfect. Now it looks pretty good. I do like, okay, I might just lighten it with a Q-tip in a minute, but I do like a dark eyebrow. I find that otherwise I'm forever having to make my eyebrows darker after I take a photo, you know, like just in the app trying to make it a little bit darker, because I feel like my eyebrows look like I have nothing on, or I have no eyebrow. So this might look a little tiny bit crazy, but I'm just going in with a little pointy Q-tip at the front just to make it a little less sharp. See what that looks like. Oops. That's better. And just this decision, what we were saying about decisions in life, nothing's set in stone, right? Like, this doesn't work out, so what? I'll just fix it. Nothing's ever forever. If a decision you make doesn't work out, then you know, you can change your mind. You take a job you don't like, you can get another job. You even marry someone that and then you realize that that wasn't a good idea. You can even divorce them. Like, it's not ideal, obviously, but you know, there's no such thing as irreversible decisions, apart from perhaps something very permanent, like having kids, obviously. But apart from that, most things are not something that you would have to worry about reversing now. That's already looking so much better. And let me just get a little bit of mascara. And now I have this Dior Show Iconic Curl, which is a little one that came in a gift pack. I quite like it. I find that's very good. I like either the Dior or the YSL mascaras. I don't really bother with fake eyelashes. I just find them kind of annoying. So there you go. That's my glamour makeup based on Shelby Anne's viral makeup routine, few shortcuts. Let me see if I can get some better light here so you can get a better look. Yeah, it's not too bad. I'm pretty happy with that. So I know it's a little bit of funny angle, but that's a lot better than it was. Maybe I'll post a picture with the final product once I do my hair. I haven't done my hair yet. But that's the point of today's video, is that the main points are that if you're going through a difficult time, it's okay to feel anxious. It's normal. Your body just wants to go back to safety, and it's perfectly normal human feeling. The second point is that don't act from a place of scarcity. Just because other people tell you maybe you won't find another husband or another job, so what? And third thing is to listen to yourself, listen to just your gut, your instinct, your inner heart, God, your connection to God, source, to the universe, however you feel more comfortable calling it. And if you keep going back to that, then there's no such thing as a wrong decision. I guess that's the fourth point, because every decision, like my eyebrows, is reversible, and there's no such thing as something you can't change later. So I hope you enjoyed that. And if you want to work directly with me on one-on-one coaching, my link is in bio. Thanks. I realized that I didn't do my lips, so I do use the Napoleon Perdis Autopilot as a bit of a base. And I usually just let that sit for a little bit, and then I use a lip liner and lipstick, depending on what I want to do. Oop, I'm dropping things. So I do like the Charlotte Tilbury, and I do like Pillow Talk Medium. This one is not Pillow Talk Medium. This is a little bit darker, and it's like a little pinky rose color. Now I have sharpened it too much, so I can't tell what it is anymore. Sorry, but it's going with that. No, I think the Napoleon Autopilot has dried by now. And these days, sometimes I do like a red lip, but a lot of the time, sometimes I just like a natural. This is a little bit of a rose color, a bit dark natural. And what I do is I do overline my lip top lip a little bit, because I have a really big bottom lip. Just trying to do this on the phone. And I only run the lip liner in the bottom lip, just on the edge. I don't want to make the bottom lip any bigger. And I only sort of run it about 3/4 of the way, because I don't want to add in the top lip, because I don't want to make my top lip go down. And let me see that in the mirror. Okay, and then I sort of color it in. So it's a rosy color, fairly natural. And then I will go in on top with a lip gloss, and I might just leave that till right at the end. I'll do it when I'm getting dressed, but you can sort of see the final product. And another light's a little bit funny here. Let me turn this light off. Okay, that's a little bit better. You can sort of see the makeup, and if I'm taking a photo, a selfie, you can see how that will turn out quite nicely, except I have to fix my eyebrows a little tiny bit and do my hair. So yeah, that's great. Let's have a nice day.